she grabbed me and she pushed me into the tracks.
She was able to reach up, grab onto the platform, and pull herself up onto the platform just as the train came in, narrowly missing her, while she was getting ready for her prom. In the last 2 years, I've covered a lot of victims of subway shoving. That's become kind of a small epidemic here in New York City. And this young girl, this 18-year-old girl who it happened to a couple days ago, she told me she signed herself out from school 10:30 in the morning. She had a hair appointment to get her hair done for the prom. It was only like 1 or 2 stops away. She came out of school, walked across the street, walked up the stairs to the subway platform, and she saw this woman screaming at a man.
I reached the platform and I already heard some people arguing. As soon as I walked past the first bench, the woman sitting there, she just looked at me once, she glanced at me once. And I thought nothing of it. She looked like a regular person.
She said she didn't look dangerous, she didn't look crazy. She described her as, quote, a normal person.
As soon as I got like right in front of her, she grabbed me and she pushed me into the tracks.
And this all happened at the 75th Street Eldert Lane Station in Woodhaven. Now this is an elevated subway platform. There's no platform underneath the railroad tracks. It's railroad ties suspended in air from cross beams. You can fall right through in between the railroad ties. But luckily she hit one of the railroad ties the right way and held on.
It was very quick because I was aware that the train was coming to 76th Street, so it was approaching. I grabbed the platform and I jumped up and I just took myself out.
This particular Shemecca Wise, she's a 26-year-old young lady who's living in a homeless shelter on Eldert Street, right down the block from the subway stop. The way that this woman, the perp, was caught so quickly, aside from the proximity of she literally, after it happened, she walked down the platform and walked. People watched her walk right down the block to the homeless shelter and just walk in. It was easy to find her in the crowd inside the homeless shelter because she had a big tattoo on the side of her face in the shape of a feather. And the man that she was arguing with was able to give that up close and personal description tattoo to the police. She was charged with attempted murder, attempted assault, and she was held on $25,000 bail. On January 15th, 2022, Michelle Go was killed by an unhinged homeless person pushing her onto the subway tracks where she was killed by a train. About a month later, the MTA proposed the idea of putting up barriers on the edges of the platform to stop people from falling onto the tracks. They're basically about chest-high plexiglass gates that go from one end of the platform to the other, and they'll open up motorized where the doors are. That has gone through, the planning process, and now we're at the end where it's just a few months away before they're gonna be rolling out the first 3 stations here in New York City. One kind of nice part of this story is Sarah told me when her mom came to meet her with the cops, she told her mom, "We have to go. I have to, make that hair appointment." And her mom was like, "What are you talking about? You don't have to go to the prom." And she was like, "Oh, yes, I do. I'm not missing my prom." She was like, "How can you miss prom?" I started laughing when she said that because I was thinking, New Yorkers, like real New Yorkers, and this girl is definitely a real New Yorker, they don't seem to give up no matter what. They don't seem to be dissuaded by anything. They're just going to live their lives. They're going to push forward. And this young girl is definitely a New Yorker. So to hear more stories of behind the scenes reporting for the New York Post, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe button.